We'll go to economics now. Price elasticity of supply. So when I talk about price elasticity of supply, it's the degree of responsiveness between the quantity demanded of a product and the quantity supplied of a product as a result of a change in price. Just go down. I said price elasticity of supply is the degree at which people, firms, producers, they respond to the quantities they supply to the market as a result of a change in that market. So there's a change in the market. Prices have changed. Prices have changed. As a result of that, the way with which producers are able to respond towards that change is what we call price elasticity of supply. So it is what the degree of responsiveness between the quantity supplied of a product as a result of a change in price. I think that's clear. So immediately we go into, so the price elasticity of supply, which is PES, can be elastic and can be inelastic. So what situation makes the price elasticity of supply to be inelastic? It is inelastic if the quantity supplied in the market does not have any significant change as a result of a change in price. So there's a change in price. Listen to this. There's a change in price. But that change in price does not affect the quantity supplied in the market. It means that it is price inelastic. The change in the market does not change the quantity supplied in the market. Do you understand what inelastic is here? It is inelastic because there's a change in price. And remember, in the law of supply, the higher the price, the higher the quantity supplied. That is the law of supply. But here, as a result of a change in price, an increase in price, it doesn't have any significant change in the quantity supplied in the market. That is what we call price inelastic supply. Is it clear? Then, for elastic supply, it is called elastic because there's a significant change in the quantity supplied as a result of a change in price. There's a change in the quantity supplied in the market as a result of a change in price. That is elastic. Is it clear? Any question about that? Okay, then we'll go on to calculating the value of price elasticity of supply. So how do we calculate price elasticity of supply? The formula is percentage change in the quantity supplied over percentage change in price. Percentage change in the quantity supplied over percentage change in price. So that means we could say P is equals to Q2 minus Q1 over Q1. Yeah, divided by P2 minus P1 over P1. I wrote the derivative for the formula. I wrote it down. It is Q2 minus Q1 over Q1 divided by P2 minus P1 over P1. What is Q1? Q1 is the original quantity supply. Then Q2 is the change in the quantity supply. P1 is the original price, while P2 is the change in the price. Any question about that? Immediately we go into interpreting the value of price elasticity of supply. So the price elasticity of supply could be perfectly elastic, inelastic, it could be perfectly elastic, and it could be unitary. So it is perfectly inelastic if our PES is equals to 0. It is perfectly inelastic if the PES is 0. It is perfectly elastic if the PES is infinite. It is unitary if PES is 1. I think that is clear. Is it clear, please? All right. So we go to price elasticity and slope, price elasticity and the slope of the supply curve. So what happens to the supply curve? Just scroll down. I'm just going to explain it. We have a supply curve here at S1, S3, and S2. So it is S1. That means the supply curve is vertical. It is vertical if the price change, if the quantity supply in the market would not lead to a percentage change. If the price in the market, a change in price in the market would not lead to a change in the quantity supply. So it is vertical because it is 0. So PES is 0 when it is vertical. Do you get the point here? Our PES, when our PES is vertical, it is equals to 0. That means it's perfectly inelastic. So at S1, because it is vertical, it means that there's no change in the quantity supply as a result of a change in price. So our PES is 0. For S2, which is horizontal, right? It is horizontal because there's what the firms are willing, or producers are willing to change the quantity supply as a result of a change in price. So at any given price, firms are willing to to supply more. You see, it is horizontal. So the quantity supply in the market could increase from 0 to whatever it wants to increase to, in as much as the price increases. Do you get the point here? So the PES for horizontal curve is infinite. Do you get it? So firms, producers are willing to supply at any given point in time, at any given price. Do you understand? Yeah. It is vertical. When it is vertical, it is 0. The PES is 0. That means the price elasticity of supply is perfectly inelastic. Vertical? Yeah, at S1, it is vertical at S1, which means the PES is 0. There's no significant change in the quantity supply as a result of a change in price. If it is S2, that is horizontal. At S2, it means that producers are willing to supply at any given price. Do you get it? And if it is in between, if the straight line passes in between, that is S3. That means the straight line passes between S1 and S2. That is S3. Do you get it there? At that point in time, it means that it means that there's no what? There's the perfectly elastic. It is 1. It is not inelastic. It is not elastic. It is 1. So at this point in time, the percentage change in the quantity supply equals to the percentage change in price. Get the point clear? At S1, it is vertical. When it is vertical, it means that it is perfectly inelastic. If it is horizontal, it means producers are willing to change. They are willing to supply more at any given point, at any given price. But if the straight line passes through the range of S1 and S2, it means it is unitary. Percentage change in the quantity supply equals to percentage change in price. Is it clear? Any question about that? Any question about that? At S1 is vertical. At vertical means perfectly inelastic. At S2, which is horizontal, it means perfectly elastic. And S3, which is passing the straight line passing through the region, it is unitary, which means percentage change in quantity supply equals to percentage change in price. Any question about that? Then we'll go to the factors influencing PES. When we talk about the factors that influences price elasticity of supply, the first one is factors of production. So for the factors of production, we're talking about the land, the labor, the capital. The ease at which producers are able, are you with me, please? The ease at which producers are able to have access to factors of production would make the price would make supply to be elastic. If producers are able to have accessibility to land, to labor, to capital, it means production can easily take place. So that means they can adjust to a change in the price as a result, as they can adjust to producing more as a result of a change in price. So if they can have availability of labor, if they can have availability of capital, if they can have availability of raw materials, they will be able to produce more as a result of a change in price. So if they have access to those factors of production, the PES will be elastic. Do you get the point here? If firms, producers are able to have access to the factors of production, the price elasticity of supply for such products that they are going to be able to produce will be elastic. But if they cannot have access to factors of production, so the price elasticity of supply for that product that they are supposed to produce will be inelastic because they don't have access to factors of production. Do you understand what factors of production are? Factors of production are the resources that helps in the production of goods and services. So if firms, producers are able to have access to the resources they need for a product that is increasing its price, that for a product that the price has increased in the market, if they have access to the factors of production, the PES for such products will be elastic. But if they don't have access to the factors of production that are needed to produce such products, the supply for that product will be inelastic. Is it clear? Availability of stocks. Here I will. Producers that can hold on to stocks of goods can respond quickly to price changes, so supply will be elastic. If producers are able to keep stocks that the price is increasing in the market, then the PES for such products will be elastic. But if they cannot keep stocks, if they cannot keep stocks of goods that the price are increasing in the market, the price is increasing in the market, the supply or the PES for such goods will be inelastic because you cannot keep those goods. So the demand for those goods has increased, but the supply is not increasing. Why? Because firms, producers do not have access to those goods at that point in time. Is it clear? The third one, spare capacity. When you talk about spare capacity, we're talking about the warehouse. We're talking about the ability to have equipment, machinery to produce such products. So here I go. Supply will be more elastic if producers have spare capacity such as big factory or more machinery. But if they cannot, if firms, suppliers are able to have accessibility to bigger factory, more or sophisticated machine, they'll be able to produce more because the price has increased. Then the supply for such products or the PES for such products would be elastic. But if firms are operating at a full capacity, they are already operating at a full capacity, it means they cannot change the quantity supplied in the market. This will result to the PES to be inelastic. Do you get the point here? If firms have ability to produce at a large quantity because they have bigger factory, the PES will be elastic. If they have ability to purchase or to buy machinery to use for production, then the supply for that product will be price elastic. But if they don't have, if the firms are already operating at a full capacity, if they are operating at a full capacity, then the supply for that product will be inelastic. Is it clear? Any question about that? No. Then the last one, the last of the factors that affect PES is the time. So when we talk about the time, we're talking about the pace, the speed at which firms or suppliers are able to react to a change in price by producing more. We also determine if the PES will be elastic or inelastic. Listen, please. If the time at which they can produce more or they can supply more is short, that means within a short period of time they can produce more, they can supply more, then the supply for that product will be price elastic. But if it's going to take them a longer period of time to produce a product, the supply for such products will be price inelastic. Do you get the point here? The pace at which, the speed at which they are able to produce the product will determine if the product is price elastic or inelastic. Then the last thing we need to talk about in price elasticity of supply is the price elasticity of supply for manufactured and primary products. Here I wrote, goods that can be produced quickly are likely to have PES that is elastic. This could be as a result of flexibility in production. Goods that we can produce as quick as possible, they are likely to have price elastic supply. Maybe because of flexibility in production. And when we talk about flexibility in production, it could be as a result of flexible workforce. It could be as a result of advancement in technology. So if we are able to use technology, if we are able to get, or if we are able to see workers that are flexible, then production can be quicker. As a result, the PES will be elastic. But if it's going to take time to find flexibility, or if we have rigid workforce, then the supply curve will be, the supply for such product will be inelastic. Then for raw material, for the primary goods, we're talking about goods such as gold and diamond. No matter what the price is, an increase in price for such products might not be quick. Please, listen please. When we talk about the primary goods such as gold or diamond, an increase in price for such products would be inelastic to PES. Why? Because gold and diamond are not things we can easily find. So the supply for such products will be inelastic. Why? Because gold and diamond are resources, their sources are not easily found. Do you understand? It is inelastic because the quantity supplied in the market does not reflect in the change in the market, in the change in the price. It is elastic if the quantity supplied in the market reflects in the quantities, a change in the price in the market reflects in the quantity supplied in the market. Is it clear? Any question about that? So we have the multiple choice question. The first one says, what is the value of price elasticity of supply for a straight line supply curve that passes through the origin? When it passes through the origin, it means the percentage change in the quantity supply equals to the percentage change in price. So that means it is 1. You get it? It is unitary. Is it clear? And question 2. They said the price of a product rises by 12%. As a result, producer has increased the amount supplied by 18%. What is PES? So the first quantity, they said by 12% for price. So that means we have certain 100% somewhere. So that means our P1 will be 100. Our P2 will be plus 12, which is 112. Q1 will be 100. And our Q2 will be 118. That is 100 plus 18, 118. Then we say PES is Q2 minus Q1 over Q1 divided by P2 minus P1 over P1. So now we have our Q1, our P1 to be 100, our P2 to be 112, our Q1 to be 100, our Q2 to be 118. So 118 minus 100 over 100 gives us 18 over 100, divided by 112 minus 100 gives us 12 over 100. We have 18 over 100 divided by 12 over 100, which is the same as 18 over 100 multiplied by 100 over 12. So 100 has cancelled 100. We have 18 divided by 12. So 18 divided by 12. 18 divided by 12 equals to 1.5. So the answer is C. Is it clear? So any question about price elasticity of supply? No.